You know they don't happen anymore.
Welcome to Davey Dave's Take. Today we are talking about Killers of the Flower Moon, the latest film from legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese. When oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. Of course, this is one of my most anticipated films of the year. Martin Scorsese could be the best director of all time. He is definitely top three. He is one of those directors that's always in that conversation. And whenever he and Leonardo DiCaprio or Robert De Niro, when they all get together, something amazing is always made. So of course, I was so excited for this film. And I did something that might shock you guys. It shocked my friends, it shocked my family. Honestly, it shocked myself. I read a book, but not just any book. I read the actual book before I saw the movie. I haven't done that since Harry Potter. But in all seriousness, I am so happy I read the book before I saw the film because it was one of the best books I've ever read, but it got me more excited for the film, especially with Scorsese helming this project because it is one of the craziest stories I've ever read, and it is a period of American history, a dark period of American history that I feel like a lot of people want to pretend that didn't happen. So this is a film review, so obviously I'll talk about the film, but I'll talk about some comparisons in the book, some things I liked, some things I didn't really like, and I'll keep everything spoiler free. For the book and the movie, don't you worry. But I first have to say I absolutely love this film. This is one of my favorite films of the year. It did not disappoint. Anytime Scorsese makes a movie, it's an event. That's why I feel like you should go see this film if you haven't, especially in theaters. Whenever Scorsese makes a film, especially with DiCaprio or De Niro, it is something to be seen. And the runtime can seem daunting, but honestly, this is a 3.5 hour movie that doesn't feel like it's 3.5 hours. It feels like Scorsese uses every frame, every shot to its full potential. Nothing is wasted. It really justifies the long runtime here. Because as I was saying before, this is a truly shocking story. A story that I can't believe I haven't heard of until I read the book, until this movie was being made, because it is one of the darker chapters in America's history. And Martin Scorsese understands how important this period of history is to the Osage people and the people that were involved. He said he's always wanted to make this film, so you could tell that there's a lot of care that's put into this film because it is crafted so masterfully to tell this horrific story, to keep everyone engaged, but to keep everything respectful. You've probably heard about all the performances, and they are all great. Leonardo DiCaprio is at his best here. This might be his best performance in his career. I know he was getting that type of praise. I'd have to think about it, but it possibly could be his best performance. You can tell he's done a lot of research about Ernest Burkhart and everything that surrounds Ernest in this story. And I won't go into it too much because it would be major spoilers for both the book and the movie, but I feel like what Leonardo DiCaprio gives us here is perfect. Robert De Niro is great here too, but the best performance in the film is Lily Gladstone as Molly Burkhart. She is absolutely incredible, heartbreaking. She is perfect here. This is the best performance of the movie, and I do believe she deserves an Oscar for this role. She is absolutely incredible. I've already talked about how great the direction is here with Scorsese, but it really is incredible. I mean, there are shots of Fairfax and sequences that just feel so lived in, feels like we're actually in the 1920s in Fairfax, in Oklahoma, witnessing these events play out. You can tell Scorsese's done so much research here, and he really cares about all this subject matter. As a film, I think it's nearly perfect. It's one of the best of the year. I do want to talk about the book compared to the movie, and I will say I like the book better, but I mean, that's not surprising. I feel like that happens every single time when we have a book to movie adaptation. But there are some interesting choices that Scorsese has for the film compared to the book. Like at the beginning of the film, the plot is revealed to us. We know who's behind everything, where in the book, that information isn't given to us till about halfway, 2/3 of the way in the book. And the book is more of a mystery, where in the movie, it's not necessarily more of a mystery, it's more around these characters and some of the actions that they're doing. Where in the book, those actions are later revealed later in the book. And I thought that was an interesting choice, where I think sometimes it really works for the film, but then there are other times where I don't think it works for the film. Where it works is when the film really focuses on the characters and their motivations. Where I don't think it works is sometimes for an overall narrative, because there are some very shocking moments in the book. In the movie, they're still very shocking because this overall story is just shocking. It's fucking horrible. But I will say how information is revealed to us in the film is not as shocking as it is in the book. But I can see why Scorsese told the film in this certain way because it feels more like a Scorsese movie, and that's why I think it really works. But part of me does think if the film was told through a different character's perspective, it would have been a little bit more like the book when it comes to storytelling, and maybe the film would have been overall better, but it's hard to say because the film is already so great told from this other character's perspective. There's a lot of information that's not in the movie that's in the book. That's fine, that's going to happen. That happens with any adaptation. But I will say there's one piece of information that happens towards the end of the book that isn't really mentioned in the film that I thought was surprising because it was so shocking. And it really drives home this whole point about how fucking horrible everything is, how fucking horrible people are in this story. It's interesting bringing up these points because if I didn't read the book, I wouldn't even be talking about them. But after reading the book, it's honestly just something I wanted to talk about. And it's not going to go against my rating for this movie at all because I am reviewing this film as a film. And I really think Scorsese crafted an incredible film that's respectful to the source material, to everyone involved. You could tell that this is a passion project for him. He still paints this horrific and shocking story that a lot of people just want to pretend didn't happen because it is a dark chapter of American history. As someone who read the book, I love this film. Obviously, there's some things I wish they did differently, but that's going to happen with any adaptation. As someone who loves films, it's incredible. It's a Scorsese film. It's something that you should go see in theaters because it is an event. I know it's a long runtime, but it doesn't feel it's runtime. But it's worth go seeing because it's a Scorsese film. And it's one of the best films of the year. I'm going to give Killers of the Flower Moon 9.5 Davey Daves. I know this is technically an Apple TV Plus release, but I have no idea when it's supposed to go on streaming. But it doesn't matter. Go see it in theaters. You should go see this film in theaters and support it because we want to give Scorsese more money so we can make more films because we want more Scorsese films. So, Killers of the Flower Moon. Let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I am curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Dave's Takes.